Oh, hello. Yes, well, end of the week, beginning of the weekend. It's that kind of thing. I've got stuff done this week, I'm pleased to say. Didn't get wet, astoundingly. Anyway, let's move on. I suppose I could talk today about the kind of farcical notion of the Labour Party and dropping all of those left-wing candidates. Presumably they're hoping that people won't notice, but I think their members will do. The ever-diminishing pool of people that is. It'll be intriguing when they come knocking on my door asking for my vote. Yes, probably just asking them about some of the candidates that aren't standing. Anyway, yeah, good luck with the leaflets when you haven't got any people to do it. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that, what I'd like to talk about today is the right-wing grifters, in particular Carl Benjamin, who just wanted to talk about the way that these people operate. And one thing I think basically most distasteful about them is that they don't have the courage of their convictions. Okay, they are racist, sexist, misogynistic, very nasty individuals who, broadly speaking, would be quite happy to throw democracy in the bin if they got the other parts of their package in place, undoubtedly, right? But they won't admit it. And this is the thing. Ever since 2016, these people on the alt-right, as we used to call them back in those days, have played this game, okay? And, you know, Carl did this in the past with the whole Jess Phillips things, because he was taken on board as a candidate for UKIP, even the idea, the spurious idea that he'd appeal to the youth vote along with some of the others who were extremely right-wing individuals. And maybe not Count Duckula, but, you know, there's always going to be one idiot that joins in the crew. Anyway, yeah, but Carl, to this day, is insistent that it was just a joke and that people didn't understand the joke. Now, you would have thought, right, okay, if you're an intelligent human being, that you said, and you know, very publicly said something that you thought was a joke and people found deeply offensive, that you would retract the statement and apologise, which Carl has never done. Okay, in his view, he can't do that as a male, because males don't do that. You know, it's the sort of Lee Anderson view of the world. Oh, I can't be wrong. If I admit that I'm wrong, then my entire masculinity will crumble, and I'll have to take Viagra instead, or whatever it might be. Okay, you know, sort of very shallow view of what masculinity is. It's called being human, mate. Ja. Anyway, yesterday, right, okay, so he was bemoaning about all the traffic that's being driven his way. Oh, woe is me. Oh, it's dreadful. I'm the victim. No, you're not, mate. Of course not. Loving every second of it. So he's moved on from the, it wasn't me, it was Connor Tomlinson, it's not my podcast, it's Connor's, rubbish, right? So now he's accepting and owning this stuff, okay? But, I was intrigued because Lewis Goodall on LBC had done a piece, you know, sort of querying as to why Liz Truss was trying to flog books to that audience. They're not going to buy any books, are they? You know, they're just not going to buy books, are they? Yeah, anyway, so he posted this. If Lewis Goodall has any issue with the views that Lotus Eaters promotes, we are happy to discuss them with him, which is the typical grifter trap that you have to fall into, okay, which is whereby we all know what their views are, but they say, no, they're not. Right? Yeah, but you are. No, we're not. Right? That becomes it. Right? Jess Phillips and the comments about her. It's just a joke. So that's the end of it, okay? I'm allowed to say anything I like to appeal to those people, nod, nod, wink, wink, that get the joke. No, we all get it, mate, but you won't admit to it. That's the issue. And of course, you know, you'd have to be a blinding idiot to actually take on board him for that. I reckon, you know, with a reasonable human being could actually skewer him, because he will always try and squiggle out of it. But, you know, if you highlight the actual people that are in support of him, for example, David Atherton, who's been a friend of the show. Now, David Atherton, again, would be someone else, who undoubtedly people will go, oh, he's not a racist. Yeah, he's a racist, okay? He spends his entire day searching for news items about black people committing crime. That's an almost working definition of racism, as we well know. But he can, again, present himself as this edgy outsider who's a sensible centrist, yeah? don't think that he is, realistically. But, in particular on the misogynistic thing, no, I'm not a misogynist, I'm a great supporter of women's rights because I really, really can't stand these Muslim grooming gangs. Yeah, that's a very, very precise notion of particular women's rights, isn't it, Ben? But never mind that now. Yeah, he gets the support of Kelly J. Keane. Right? Oh, it's a woman who's really concerned about women's issues. No, it's another grifter who's really concerned about her revenue flow, particularly on her clothing line. A woman who's managed to appropriate the notion of being a suffragette and their colours, which is incredibly distasteful. Oh, no, it isn't. It's just a joke. Yeah, no, it isn't. Right? Okay? It gets her support as though magically that's going to be a ringing endorsement from women. Or, if you think about it, on another kind of great supporter of women's rights, yesterday had Graham Linehan, who's a great friend of the Lotus Eaters show. Yeah, posting in support. We know what a great supporter he is of women's rights, because after all, he could recognise, a joke when he sees one, because he's a comedy writer. But at the same time, we end up with Graham Linehan being a man yesterday as well, who was having a go at Janie Goodley. All right, directing basically all of those nasty transphobes against her. A woman who has terminal cancer. Think about that, just briefly for a moment, that you're going to have a go at a woman, yeah? You are a bully who hates women and is happy to see troubled children sterilised and maimed. Yeah, well done. Well done, Graham. Well done, Graham. There's good grace, isn't it, eh? But I presume that was just a joke as well. No, of course it isn't. This stuff isn't a joke. These people are, however, a joke. But the thing I dislike, as I say, is the fact that they expect me magically to be taken in by it. And I'm really not. And I find it just, it's boring. It's boring because you just know that when you point very directly at Graham Linehan saying stuff like this to a woman with a terminal illness, people will say to you, oh, you're just reading stuff into that. He doesn't mean it. It's not what he meant. You're taking it out of context. No, I'm not. These people are nasty. And they make a living out of being nasty, and they make a living out of persuading other people to be nasty. Now, I think, personally, that you don't get very much lower as a human being by doing that. But maybe I'm just joking about it, eh? Maybe I don't mean it. Could it be that? Yeah? Yeah? Am I just too bright for you lot to understand? No, of course not. You lot out there do get it fully. That's why you put up with me each day. Anyway, I needed to say that, actually, because it does anger me. It angers me that these people expect that I'm going to buy into the notion that they're not nasty, nasty, nasty human beings when they patently are. Grr. Anyway, do have a lovely Friday if you can. We will see. It may not rain at the weekend, and I can probably have to tackle my garden, which I don't really want to do. So, long may it pour. Take care.